Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nyoman Triwibawa Surya Wanasis. Today, I would like to begin by asking a simple question. Have you ever felt that you are living between two different worlds? In one side, you are influenced by global trends such as social media, international music, fashion, and lifestyle. But on the other side, you also have your own culture, tradition, and value that you are expected to follow. Sometimes these two worlds do not fully match, and that situation can make us feel confused about who are we really are. This feeling is not something rare, especially among young people today. Therefore, in this speech, I would like to discuss a very relevant, important topics, which is a cultural identity crisis among youth in the era of globalization. To begin with, cultural identity refers to the how we define ourselves based on culture. It includes our tradition, language, value, belief, and way we see the world. However, in today's globalized era, young people are as constantly exposed to different culture at the same time. Through the internet and social media, we can easily access content from over the world within seconds. As a result, many young people start to experience what is called a cultural identity crisis, which is a condition where they feel confused about their identity because they are influenced by multiple cultures. They may start they may start to question themselves, wondering whether they should follow their local culture or adopt global culture, and this confusion can slowly affect how they think and behave. There are several reasons why this cultural identity crisis happen among youth. One of the main causes is a strong influence by of social media. Nowadays, social media platforms play a very important role in shaping the way young people see the world. Every day, they are exposed to global trends, including a beauty standard, fashion style, and a modern lifestyle that often look perfect and attractive. Without realizing it, many teenagers begin to compare themselves with what they see online and try to imitate those trends. This can slowly change their preference, attitude, even their identity. They may start to feel that their own culture is less interesting and less modern compared to what they see on social media. Another causes is assumption that foreign culture is better. In many cases, global culture is often seen as more advanced, more modern, or more desirable. Because of this mindset, some young people begin to ignore their own tradition and value. They may feel embarrassed to show their local identity or prefer to follow foreign lifestyle instead. This situation becomes more serious when young people lose their sense of their pride on their own culture. When they no longer value their cultural background, it becomes easier for them to disconnect from it. In addition, a lack of deep understanding about culture also contributes to this problem. Some people are fully educated about the meaning and influence of their tradition on tradition. They may participate in cultural activities but did not truly understand why those traditions exist or what value they represent. Without this understanding, culture becomes something superficial and it's better to replace it with something new. As a result, they do not develop a strong connection with their own cultural identity. The impact of cultural identity crisis on youth can be quite serious. One of the main effects is confusion. Young people may feel unsure about who they really are because they are trying to different cultural expectations at the same time. They may act differently depending on the situation, which can make them feel like they are not being their true self. This can lead to emotional discomfort and internal conflict. Another effect low self confidence. When young people constantly compare themselves to global standard, they may feel that they are not good enough. But for example, they may feel insecure about their appearance, their lifestyle, and even their background. This kind of comparison can negatively affect their self esteem and make them feel less confident in their identity. Furthermore, cultural identity crisis can also lead to the loss of local culture. If the younger generation stop practicing tradition, those tradition may should disappear over time. Culture is not something that can survive on its own. It needs to be preserved and continued by its generation. If young people lose interest in their culture, it may not be passed on to the future. This is what this is why issue is not only personal but also social and cultural. However, despite these challenges, there are several ways to deal with cultural identity crisis. First, it is important for young people to find a balance between global and local cultural. Globalization is not something we should reject because it brings many benefits such as knowledge, innovation, and connection. However, we should not let it replace our identity. Instead, we can learn from global culture while still maintain our own cultural value. Second, young people need to develop a deeper understanding of their own culture. This can be done by learning about tradition, in history, and cultural practice in a more meaningful way. When people understand the meaning behind their culture, they are more likely to appreciate and respect it. This understanding helps build a stronger sense of identity and belonging. Third, it is important to build confidence in one's identity. Young people should not feel that they need to copy others in order to be accepted. Every culture has its own uniqueness and value, and this is something to be proud of. Being different doesn't not mean being inferior. In fact, we can be a strength that makes someone stand out. And finally, social media should be used wisely. Instead of only consuming global content, young people can also use social media as a platform to promote their own culture. They can share tradition, introduce local value, and show the beauty of their cultural identity to wider audience. In this way, social media can become a tool for preserving culture rather than lose it. In conclusion, globalization has brought many changes into our life, especially for young people. It has opened access to the world, but at the same time, it has created challenges in maintaining cultural identity. The cultural identity crisis among youth is a real issue that affects how they see themselves and their place in the world. However, This is not something that cannot be solved. By finding balance, understanding our culture, building confidence, and using technology wisely, we can overcome these challenges. In the end, we do not have to choose between being global or being local. We can be both. We can be learn from the world while still staying true to who we are. Okay, thank you all. This all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.